Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to the Censored Pub channel. Today I have a very special video for you. We are going to be taking a look at the 4 very unique, very popular, very well known and iconic counterplays that are in the card game introduced in set 10. They are the 3 counterplays. One of the topics that I am very intrigued or I'm very interested in is the whole card game design theory, and I think it's very difficult to design a card game, and it's extremely difficult to design a card game well, especially in a card game like Dragon Ball Super card game where there is no rotation, there is no blocks and stuff like that. It is extremely difficult, and I am so intrigued at the design of this 4, and I've been wrong in the past before, because in the past I was saying that Yamcha wasn't good and stuff like that. Yamcha was wrongly designed, but really down the road when I get more experience about playing with all these cards, I kind of realized that all of them are perfectly designed, and I want to tell you why, and this is the video. So for those who doesn't know about all these counterplays, what are they and why are they so iconic and so powerful? It is introduced in set 10 to promote the use of unison cards. So unison cards are a little bit like Planeswalker card if you're coming from TCG, like Magic, and they just stay on the board. And why are all these counterplays so powerful? It's because each of them grants you a very powerful ability, and every one of them are free to play as long as you have a unison on board with 2 or more markers. So for example, if we have like Frieza, Xeno, Darkness, Overflow that we see right now, this is one of the first unison that we see in the card game for the starter deck. I still love Last Resort Frieza so much. It's so beautiful, such a nice card, and I want to play this unison so much. So with this particular unison card, if you have it on the board and you have 2 or more markers, which is very easy to do, you are able to play Frieza Charismatic Villain with this effect. And when you have a green unison with 2 or more markers to play, you can activate this card's counter from your hand without paying its energy cost. So you can just play it just like that. And what does this card do? Every single one of them has an ability very unique to their colors. These are 4 counterplays for each of the colors, and each of them are so well designed, really. I know I've been saying that so much, but for example, like for blue, it bounces back. For red, it reduces power because that's what red does. And when it comes to green, it KOs. And then when it comes to Vegeta, which is yellow, it taps something down. And every single one of them, it's a unique ability or a unique characteristic personality of their colors. And that is why it is so beautiful. However, there's one thing that the game designers kind of have to do. The thing is this, that even though every single one of them has their own characteristic, has ability tailored to their own characteristic, they are not equal. For example, bouncing a card back doesn't really equate to KOing a card. Tapping a card down does not equate to reducing power. They're just not equal in terms of what you gain back as a player. So how does the card game designers really have to balance this and balance it out properly. And how did they do that? Simply amazing. Let's talk about yellow, alright? So when you play Vegeta Prideful Transformation, the battle card being played, it's played in rest mode, then you play this card. It's the same thing, every single one of them has the permanent that when you have a unison 2 or more markers, you can play it, and every single one of them needs you to have their specific color unison. Yellow for yellow, blue for blue, etc. Alright? However, when it comes to Vegeta, you can tap the card down so that card is no longer a threat to you. It is played at the counterplay timing. That means it gets past barrier. It doesn't care about barrier. And however, it has to respect deflect, because deflect does not take into account what is the effect of a counterplay. So that means that the battle card being played, if it has deflect, it cannot be tapped down. However, if it has barrier, it is able to tap it down. However, tapping down doesn't equate to KOing a card, right? So how does the game designer balance it out? They give it blocker. However, it reduces the power to 14k, so you technically cannot swing and be aggressive with this card. So that 14k itself, it's also a really good design. Alright, you can use it as a blocker after you do it, or you can use it if you want to swing with it. You have to commit more cards. That's something that you have to do. Yellow is not a color with a lot of hand cards. Or you can use it as a blocker. So it's just perfect. I like it. The next card, it's Yamcha Merciless Barrage. I have to say that this card, in the past, I was so wrong. I said that this card is almost unplayable. It is poorly designed, but I am so wrong. It has risen up to be one of my favorite cards out of the 4. Yes, one of my favorite, if not my favorite. I think it's Vegeta, Frieza, and Yamcha. They're really just my top favorite. I love all these cards so much, especially Yamcha. However, Yamcha also do have the highest skill ceilings, right? But let's take a look at what this card does. Okay, so you choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle card and they get minus 15k power for the turn, then you play this card. Take note, it's the same thing, it has a permanent. If you're a red unison with 2 or more markers, you can play this for free. And so this is just extremely powerful. Take note also that it is in the counterplay timing. That means when you counterplay against the card that's being played, you cannot choose the card that's being played because the card has not been played. But that is only for counterplay timing 1. If you want to know about the counterplay timing windows, I do have a ultimate counterplay guide. I will put it down in the description below, or one of the cards up there here. I don't know which way. It's one of here, alright? Just click on it and you understand this. However, during counterplay timing window 2, when your opponent is playing with a skill, you are able to target a card that is being played. So it takes high skill to take it to play this card. However, because this card it's very situational and you need to know how to play it. Instead of just choosing one card to be tapped down, you can choose 2 cards to minus 15k. It does not really KO a card, but you know minusing, it's the strongest mechanic ever just to put something out of the board. But because you also don't get past barrier, because this is, you have to choose the cards that are already on the field. So basically they let you choose 2 cards instead of 1 card. And one very important note, this card, it's 15k. Vegeta, it's 14k. This is the only card around among the 4 that after you play it does have the ability to swing at your opponent. It is so beautiful, right? Because red itself, it's the aggressive color. So even the counterplay has the ability to reduce the power, which is a red thing, and also it is a 15k and you can swing at your opponent after that. That's why I like the card so much. And one of the things that you can do with this card is that when you play this, when your opponent is trying to EX evolve, because it is by a skill, you can actually play it with counterplay timing 1, and then you minus the card that your opponent is trying to evolve on top of it, because that is a play, right? So if the card underneath has no barrier and it is less than 15k or less, you actually just wipe out that big 30k or 35k they're trying to evolve on top of it. For example, if your opponent is trying to play Jiren and then they have a 15k on board and they try to evolve that 30k or 35k on top, you just counterplay minus a 15k and you're done. Now let us take a look at one of the infamous cards. This is gonna be Frieza, charismatic villain, one of the most beautiful. All 4 of them are very beautiful, except Trunks. I don't like the Trunks card because it's too dark for my taste, but I think Vegeta, Yamcha, and Frieza, actually I playset every one of them except Trunks because I love all of them so much. Okay, let's take a look at this one. One of the most powerful one. The reason is because instead of just reducing the power, instead of tapping down a card, you know, reducing the power, oh yeah, maybe 15k or less, it dies, it gets KO'd, it gets put into drop. No, this one just straight up KOing the card. So when you have a card that powerful, how do they balance it? How they balance it is this, that instead of putting it at the counterplay timing, take note, this card, it is in the auto. And the auto, it's when you fire up your ability. What does that mean? That means this is the only card around the 4 of them that does not get past barrier. However, it does get past counterplay there, because counterplay you just play the card, right? So your opponent, when they're playing green, they know that if they have barrier, they are pretty safe from this card. And at the same time, this game designer put a energy cost on it that 7 or less and KO it. So anything that is 8 and above, you cannot KO. So you cannot KO SCR or the very big drops like Jiren. I'm gonna use Jiren again because that's just such a perfect card to use it. Alright, so if you have barrier, you're safe. If you have things that are 8 or more, you are safe also. And this card is a 10k, so most probably when it's on the board, you can use it for a rival. You can you can use it for successor. You can use it for 0.5, 0 plus 5k combo, but swing at 10k. Not a lot. Unless you use it for King Coast, which gets the extra 5k, now you can swing at 15k. That is so good. It's just so perfect. However, if you don't want to do it, it's totally fine. It's just 10k. So it does not have blocker, it cannot swing. So that's how this is somewhat balanced. I would say that this is one of the most powerful ones. Let's take a look at the final counterplay card, and it's gonna be the blue Trunks, SS Trunks God Sealing Technique. So many people fear this card, and that is just amazing how the game designer kind of do it in such a way that, you know, how do a effect that not KOing, not minusing, not tapping it down, it just bounces the card back into your opponent's hands, your opponent can play it again. How do they game designers balance this card out and make it one of the most powerful, most feared counterplay cards in the card game? Okay, so let's take a look. You may discard this card from your hand. If you do, the battle card being played, it's returned to its owner's hands instead if you don't play this card. Take note, there is no limitation, so not 7 or more, not stuff. So if your opponent is playing this card, as long as they don't have deflag, you can send the card back into your opponent's hands. You kind of need to plan it properly, because if your opponent is going to free play a card that's 1 or 2 costs, or a card that's 1 or 2 costs, you don't want to bounce it back because your opponent could easily just tap and just play it again. However, if your opponent's playing very powerful cards like Jiren, does Jiren have deflag? I don't think Jiren has deflag. Correct me if I'm wrong. If your opponent's playing very big cards, you can just discard this card from your hands and bounce it back. And because the effect itself is just so powerful, you don't get to play this card. You don't have a 0 plus 5k combo, and you don't have a 15k on the board that you can swing with it. You don't have a blocker, you have nothing. You have to discard this card from your hands, and that effect will come through. I would argue that this card, it's just a little bit too powerful, because it can also affect secret rares. I would say that maybe do a little bit of balancing, but that's only my opinion, that it cannot do things against cards with the ultimate tag. I think that's fair, because we do have only one chance to kind of do this, right? And most of the ultimate cards, unless I think this is SFO Cell Xeno, have deflag. I think the rest of them does not have it. I don't know, right? Correct me if I'm wrong over there. All right, so but no discussion, I think this is one of the powerful ones. Right now I'm gonna do the unenviable task to try to rank them. Alright, so by 1, 2, 3 and 4, from the most powerful to the least powerful. Let's start with the most powerful, because I think most of us would agree that it would be either Trunks or Frieza. I would say that Trunks, it's the most powerful, because Trunks could just literally end game, and if your opponent has no ways to take out blue unison, which is just so difficult. For example, like Xeno, you just no chance to take Xeno out, right? Like with the baby parasite, there's no chance to take it out. Then the next one, it's gonna be Frieza, charismatic villain, extremely powerful card with the ability to KO something 7 or less, and then you can help with successor, or just tap 1 and just do the divines, the Zamasu card, and just pop it and play the Zamasu card. It's just too powerful. When it comes to the third one, I'm gonna cheat over here, because I cannot really do it. I would just say for number 3, it's a tie. It's gonna be Yamcha and Vegeta. Vegeta itself is such a great card, just plays so well with the yellow color. However, when it comes to Yamcha, Yamcha could literally destroy your opponent in 1 turn if you play it properly. And when you manage to Yamcha your opponent properly, that feeling that you get is just so good. There are two reasons why I make this video. The first reason is something that I said before, which is I am very interested in card game design, and I just want to highlight and appreciate the thought that went into making this 4 counterplays, right? Like I said before, I was so wrong about Yamcha, and when I saw, like, you know, the beauty of Yamcha, when I played correctly, I was like, oh, they really put a lot of thought. And that 15k and the 14k and the 10k for Frieza, it is just an additional thought that, you know, it's just makes the whole set just look so good. I really like all these things. And the second part, and the second reason is because it is going to be reprinted soon. So if you really want to get your hands on all these cards that have been printed in set 10, which is like at this time almost like 4 sets away, no worries, you are able to re-get them again, because in this month the series 10, it's going to be getting a reprint. But take note, when you are doing this reprint, the boxes, packs, cases will be denoted with a second edition. So, you know, those people with the first edition, you will not be you will not say that, oh, you know, I invested so much on all these cards, because at one point all these cards are very expensive before the announcement of the reprint. And the second part, it's also the cards themselves has RE denoted to denote it as a reprint. So if you get the reprint, take note, those cards will be stated as a reprint. And then if you want to, you can always get the first edition, but I think the first editions are pretty expensive. It is going to be released in October 2021, which is this month. There might be a little bit of delay, or it has already been released, I don't know. So just take note of that, alright? And also, I'm just gonna plug in my sponsor here. If you really want to buy this product and you really want to get your hands on it, there's a chance for you to do it with my discount code. Check out maniapacks.com, link down in the description below. Use my discount code SENSU for 5% off all your purchases, alright? And I hope you pull one of the SCRs. I think SCRs and SPR would be the counterplays, because those are really pricey. I think the most expensive one is Trunks. Second would be, I think, a charismatic villain Frieza. Those are the expensive one. Alright, so I really wish you luck in your pool. We've come to the end of this video. I hope you like what you see over here. And if you enjoy this video, I appreciate it. You can give this video a like, subscribe if you want to support me and the channel. Yeah, so I'm really happy that I'm kind of back. I'm getting my energy back after being sick for such a long time. I injured my shoulder and then I got sick. I'm really back. I'm really glad that I have recovered. Yep. Hey guys, stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy playing the Dragon Ball Super card game. I really hope you are okay. See you guys in the next video, alright?